guys, today I want to share with you how I healed my anal fissure from a couple years ago. For people who are lucky enough to not know what an anal fissure is, an anal fissure is basically a cut in your butt that makes you bleed when you poop. They are very, very painful and very uncomfortable, and they make you just want to like not eat because you never want to poop with a fissure in your butt. In 2020, there was one day when I felt really constipated with like hard poops in my butt, and I could not poop properly that day. And this guy that I was seeing at the time, also I'm gay and I'm a bottom, this guy who I was seeing at the time asked me to come over, and whenever I come over a dude's place, I douche my butt and I clean it out. And so even though I couldn't poop, I still tried to douche, and that cut me. And then even though I douched improperly, I still went to see him and I still tried to bottom, and I ended up bleeding the next day. I bled for I think a couple days, and I couldn't poop until I saw my doctor. I couldn't poop like properly. I was always like clenching, and I was like literally basically miserable on the toilet for the next week until I saw the doctor. But I ended up seeing the doctor, and I figured out, you know, some home remedies that I could do for myself on top of like getting medication for my fissure. So I'm gonna share with you exactly what I did to heal from it. Before I get started, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. Please also check out my full bottoming course at the links below. I do have an explicit douching tutorial on there, so you know you wouldn't hurt yourself if you try to douche, and you won't get a fissure and bleed if you're a bottom. Please also check out my premium douche kits at the links below. The enema that I used also contributed to my cut, so premium douche kits, link below, check them out. Okay, so like I said, I was unable to poop properly for like the first week until I saw my doctor, right? Like it was really painful, I was bleeding. I think the bleeding lasted a couple days only, like, and it only bled whenever I tried to poop because it would trigger the butt muscles that were cut, you know what I mean? So after a week I saw my doctor, and this was a doctor that like I had never met before. This was a doctor that specialized in like stomach pain and like stuff like that. Not really poop or like butt pain, but mainly like digestive system vibes, because my friends would go to this doctor for like indigestion or like anything related to the stomach. My mom's friend referred me to this guy, and so I went to see him, and it was my first time seeing him. He's like this Asian dude, and it was really funny because he was asking me questions like, how did you get this fissure? And he was like fingering my butt and like figuring out like which areas hurt and like how the cut was happening. The questions he asked me were like, oh, like, you know, well, how do you think you got this? Like, did you like eat enough fiber? Like, what's your diet like? And I was telling him the truth. Like, I did feel constipated, but you know, I couldn't leave out like the fact that I douched for a man and like also tried to bottom that same night that I got the fissure. So I told him like, hey, I was feeling constipated, and then I douched, and then I tried to bottom. And he literally was like, I think he was homophobic, but basically he was like, oh, like that's why it's not good to be gay. Like my friend, I have a guy friend who was straight, and then he had anal sex with someone, and then he became gay. And I was like, great. He ended up prescribing me like this cream that I would have to finger myself with twice a day. But before I got the cream, or before like, aside from like fingering myself with the cream, because that won't just heal your butt like in a day, you know what I mean? He told me that to have painless poops and to like, you know, fix my fissure like in the short term, he told me to first get a lot of Easy Fiber from CVS. It's just like a supplement that helps people like have enough fiber on the daily. Usually people would just listen to the back of the container of the fiber supplement, like, oh, take 2 spoonfuls with every meal, and then like have that every single day. For me, I had to double and triple like the amount that it told me to take. I had to take about 5 spoonfuls mixed with water like 3 times a day to get my poops to be as liquid as possible so that it wouldn't hurt when I would use the bathroom. So that was the point of getting the fiber supplement and then like doubling and tripling the intake. It's just to liquidize my poops and like make them basically feel like pee, so that like when I poop it wouldn't be like a chunk and it wouldn't trigger my cut, you know what I mean? And so my butt would just be uncomfortable and not actually actively painful. The other thing that he told me to do, and this is really important but it's really hard to explain, he told me to start to visualize my poops coming out of like a smaller butthole. When we poop and we like just let it rip, that's not really good for our butt muscles, because when our butt muscles are like just wide open and then we just like on the toilet, if the poop is really hard, that could actually like cause problems. You know what I mean? Actually, my friend's straight brother went to like Mexico or something a few years ago, and he actually got an anal fissure from just like having a hard poop and then like going to the toilet and just all over, and like without even thinking about constricting his butthole or just like watching out like for the butt that's pooping out his rocks. And he ended up bleeding and going to the doctor and having to do a similar thing. So my doctor basically told me like from now on, like when I poop, try to visualize it coming out of a smaller hole and like clench my butthole so that like it's a thinner stream of poop coming out and not like a big blob. This also helps your poops kind of like not become less solid, but like more bendable and more soft, I guess, because it has to come out of a smaller hole, so it's being like actively messed with. So like it's a little bit, I guess it is a little bit less solid, but just more soft and more like bendy. Is malleable the term? I don't know. I was born in Indo, so so like yeah, for me, easy fiber. I mixed 5 spoonfuls of it with water and ate that with every meal 3 times a day. And when I pooped, I had to visualize it coming out of a smaller hole to avoid the pain. Also, one last thing about the smaller hole thing, when you have a cut in your butt, when you have a fissure, pooping out of a smaller hole and like constricting it actually helps you with the cut. Like the cut won't be as triggered if you actively think about doing that with your butt when you have to use the bathroom to poop. So try to constrict a little bit normally, but especially if you have a cut. Okay, now let's move on to the creams that he prescribed. So my doctor basically told me to finger myself very deeply with a cream every morning and every night. So like after my morning poop in the morning and then like right before bed at night. The first cream he prescribed me was actually this cream. This was the first one that he prescribed me. It's called, I don't know what it's called, but he just mixed a bunch of ingredients and like told the pharmacy to make it. So this is HC slash lidocaine slash nifedipine, 2.5%, 1.5%, 0%. As you can see, it says apply to anal area topically 2 times daily. This is how the cream looked. It was like this beigey creamy color, and I only used a little bit of it because like I said, it did not work. Actually, did I say that? This cream did not work. I used this cream for I think about a week or 2 weeks, but I had to go back to the doctor and tell him that, you know, this cream was not working because my butt was very much still in pain and it just didn't seem like things were improving. Also, side note, these doctor visits were so like annoying because I knew the guy was homophobic. Actually, 3 things. 1, the doctor was homophobic. 2, I was literally bleeding out of my butt. And 3, one time I parked on the bus zone outside the doctor's office and I got a $333 parking ticket. Anyway, so after I complained about the cream, he was like, oh, why don't I prescribe a different cream for you? And I think he fingered me again to check like which area hurt and stuff like that. By the way, the fingering is insane. Like this guy would literally finger my butt without lube, and he would go like north, and then he would go like east, and then he would go like south, and then he would go like west, and he'd be like, oh, which direction hurt the most? And I'd be like, oh my god, like all of it hurt, like, oh. Anyway, he then prescribed me with this other cream, and it was this blue container. It is the Ascend Silver Silvadiazine Cream USP 1%. It looks like this on the outside, and then on the inside, it looks like, oh my god, it looks like this on the inside. I used a lot of it, as you can see. If you Google this cream, it'll say that it's used to treat burn patients, but I don't know why, but this was the cream that worked for me the best. Like I said, I would finger myself twice a day very deeply with it. So I would, after I poop in the morning, I'm looking at this bug. After I poop in the morning, I would like finger myself really deeply with it with my middle finger. Make sure your nails are clipped and filed, by the way. I would, you know, put it in and then I would like take it out. And then at night, I would finger myself with the cream very deeply again, right before bed. It was actually kind of nice to finger myself twice a day because you know, I'm gay and I'm a bottom, and it like you have a prostate gland back there, so it was nice to like treat my butt and like have it like kind of touch it, you know, like touch the cut and touch the fissure and like be more connected with my body and like understand myself a little bit more. And I don't know why I'm getting into that, but basically I fingered myself twice a day with this cream and did all the fiber stuff for about a month, and towards the end of the month, obviously I would start to drink less fiber and see like, oh, does it still hurt when I poop? I would go from like 5 spoonfuls 3 times a day to like 4 spoonfuls 3 times a day, or like 3 spoonfuls 3 times a day, and then eventually it would just be less and less and less. And after each change, I would track like how my butt is feeling when I'm fingering it and also when I'm pooping. My butt fissure pretty much healed after a month. I was able to poop very normally without any fiber or any creams, like I said, after like a month. And from a bottoming perspective, as a bottom, my first time bottoming after like this healing process was actually really easy, and I didn't feel a lot of pain because I had practiced fingering myself twice a day with this cream for a month. So I was pretty like loose, and I didn't need like a plug or anything. But yeah, so that's essentially how I healed my butt fissure. The first thing I did was go to the doctor. So if you have a butt fissure, please go to the doctor. The second thing I did was what he told me, which was to eat lots of fiber supplements. So I did powder, and I did 5 spoonfuls of it 3 times a day with every meal. You could also do like pills or like capsules if you want. I also pooped out of a smaller hole and like constricted my poops so that I would like actively not like trigger the fissure in my butt. And the last thing I did was I fingered myself with a silver-diazine cream twice a day for about a month. It's up to you to figure out like what cream works for you, but that's the one that worked for me. And yeah, and I would just track my progress as the weeks went by, and I would decrease the fiber intake and stuff like that to start to have a normal diet again. And then after that, I went back to my normal diet, and I would think to eat more vegetables and fruits, and also went back to my regular sex life. So that's how I healed my anal fissure. If you're going through the healing process, keep pushing through. I promise that you got this. Like, it's gonna hurt right now, but it will heal so fast, and time will fly. I'm with you. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please again, like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're new here. It really does help out with the YouTube algorithm. And please, if you're a bottom and if you're gay, check out my bottoming course at the links below. This will help you prevent an anal fissure, so please do it. Don't forget my premium douche kits. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions or if you have any ideas for what you'd like to see next from me. And I hope you have a blessed day/week. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you soon.